Buenos días y bienvenidos a la quinta semana, semana 5. Vamos a repasar capítulo 4. So, thanks for joining me for week 5. We're more than halfway through, and I'm recording this video partway through the oral exams, and so far, you guys are doing a great job on those orals. Keep it up. Okay, so this week, like I mentioned, we are going to be covering Capítulo 4. There are a couple of assignments that are assignments you have not yet done before in the previous chapter, so pay close attention. But this week you're going to be able to describe your daily routines, and this is actually a different kind of a verb called the reflexive verb, and it requires something to go in front of the verb. And it's actually something you've been doing with the como se llama usted, me llamo. Okay? That me and that se are part of that. Okay? You're also going to distinguish between when someone is talking about things that are close to them or far away, so that the this and that and the these and those. You'll be able to recognize and use words and exchanges associated with the patient intake form, part 2. Okay. You're also going to do a writing assignment, okay, in which you will be ordering things, but including information about your daily routine, which will include those reflexive verbs. You'll become familiar with and learn how to talk about and ask for vital signs. And like the patient intake form, we're going to divide that into 2 parts. So we will be doing part 1 this week. You're going to be able to refer to direct objects by their pronouns. So for example, did you give him the book? Yes, I gave it, replacing book. You'll also be able to talk about what is going on in the moment, an action that is in progress using the present progressive. You'll also be able to talk about how long certain activities have been occurring using a structure with hace que. So for example, I have been working for ASU for 19 years. Hace 19 años que trabajo para la Universidad Estatal de Arizona. And you'll learn some idiomatic expressions to make your language sound more natural, such as IK. So you should be watching this video, and as always, you'll be reading the textbook, completing the corresponding My Spanish Lab activities. You'll have the patient intake form, part 2, along with a quiz. You'll want to review again those pages in the textbook about daily routines and reflexive verbs before you complete the written exercise about your daily routine. You'll also take the quiz in My Spanish Lab over the grammar. Now remember that the first 3 chapters, for whatever reason, the quizzes were allowing you unlimited attempts, and that stops. You get 1 attempt, so make sure you study before you take that quiz. Then you'll study the vocabulary and take the vocab quiz number 2. That's that part 1 of the vital signs. We have 2 dialogues I will be putting up later today, Friday, February 3rd, the new partners for your dialogues, and they will be your new partners for 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Okay, now on Sunday you turned in your language and cultural contact, or as of Sunday, February 5th, you will watch 2 of your classmates. You're going to watch at least 2 of their presentations, and then you're going to give some feedback on those presentations. And as always, logging 2 hours of your language and cultural contact. So here's the specific list. I basically have gone through all of this. But if you want the specific plan, here's the Semana 5 plan. Okay. And let's go through. Here's the quiz 1, quiz de vocabulario. Okay, so again, you have the video. I don't believe there are any problems with the video this week. I looked through it. So let me know if you do encounter any problems with seeing the video. But you definitely want to make sure that you become familiar with these phrases. Okay? When you have, you'll take the vocabulario, okay? And it's only 5 minutes, so it goes fast. Okay? Quiz 2. Okay? Here's the vital signs, part 1. And I don't believe there are any problems with this video, but again, let me know if you have any problems. Okay? And then you will take the Vital Signs 1 quiz, and you'll have 15 minutes to answer this. Okay, okay, so those are the 2 quizzes. Then, which I forgot to open in new tabs, we have Diálogo 5 and Diálogo 6. Okay, those are in the process of opening up. So Diálogo 5, again, the information from the syllabus. And in this one, we have a diálogo entre cirujano o cirujana y paciente. Y paciente tiene 45 años, es un inmigrante recién llegado de Ecuador, que va a tener una cirugía ambulatoria en la mañana. Okay, so here we have, again, the situation. We have a surgeon talking to a newly arrived 45-year-old immigrant from Ecuador who's going to be having outpatient surgery in the morning. Okay? So, again, you're going to have the appropriate introductions if need be. Okay? Sometimes you don't meet the surgeon until, right before you talk with your regular doctor, so you do want to, introduce yourself, and the surgeon's going to make sure they have the right person, so they're going to ask about the spelling of the first and last name. And the surgeon's going to ask how the patient's feeling, if he or she has any questions about the surgery, how this person is going to return home after the surgery, who is going to prepare their meals, who's going to buy the medicine, and what does this person plan on doing when they arrive home. Then tell the patient you'll see him or her. You are going to see him or her in the next morning. Thank him or her, and then appropriate closings. And as with the dialogues prior, you will do this twice, okay? Switching roles. Now, diálogo 6. This is a diálogo entre un enfermero o una enfermera y una paciente con la gripe. Okay, so one person will be the nurse the first time around who's working with a patient who has the flu. Okay, so again, there'll be the greetings and introductions. And you want to ask your patient, you want to make sure you got the right person. So what is his or her name, and how does he or she spell their first and last name? How he or she is feeling today. And you might actually want to ask what is his or her date of birth before you start in with the how is he or she feeling. And then ask if they're hungry, thirsty, tired, hot, cold, sleepy. These are all idiomatic expressions you're learning in Chapter 4. You'll tell your patient they have to drink a lot of water, has to call if there's a problem breathing, and to be careful. Okay, so there's a lot of vocabulary in here that are with idiomatic expressions. Now be sure to include the vocabulary expressions you've been learning. This is a chance to practice what you're learning, getting some feedback. You also want to make sure that you comment appropriately. So for example, if somebody says, me siento muy mal, don't just go on to the next question. Make some kind of comment like, lo siento, or va a sentirse mejor muy pronto. So you're going to feel better soon. Okay, so don't just drop it. Make sure that you have comment on it. Okay, so Dialogue 5, Diálogo 5, will be due on Wednesday of this week, and Diálogo 6 will be due on Sunday. Now the práctica escrita. Okay. So, práctica escrita. This activity is aimed at giving you a chance to explain in detail your daily routine using the reflexive verbs you have been studying. Okay, so you want to review those reflexive verbs. They're from page 100 to 107 in your textbook. You'll read the instructions, and please don't forget to use accent marks or punctuation when necessary. So what is your daily routine? ¿Cómo es su rutina diaria? Using all the verbs provided. Okay. Now, obviously, you're not going to use every single verb because not all of you are going to do these things. Okay. But I would like you to use the majority of the verbs, okay, to describe what you do every day to get ready for work and school. Okay. And I gave you some connectors on how you can sequence these events. So like primero, luego, después, más tarde, por último, finalmente. Those are some things to help you along. Okay? Now, do be careful with the verbs above because not all of them are reflexive. Okay? You will write this in a Word document, and then you will attach it to here. Okay? And submit it when you're done. And please, as always, let me know if you have any questions as you come across this. Okay? And the last thing is the language and cultural contact presentation. Comments, los comentarios. So, the link is actually going to bring you to the thread, of which I see one person has already submitted. Okay? And so you will pick somebody's contact presentation, and you have to do this twice, and watch it, and you're going to comment about it. You're going to comment what you liked about the presentation. You're going to comment about what you think can be improved for the next time. You want to give them some ideas, and also what you learned from it. And like the presentation itself, you're using verb forms that you have yet to study, so you will be doing your comments in English. Okay? Alrighty, and these comments are part of your student engagement, participation, responsibility grade. Okay? So that is all for Semana 5. Please let me know if you have any questions. Gracias.